Whenever we start learning any new technology, there are a lot of butterflies in our stomach. We keep thinking, what if I don't understand the technology? What if I do not excel in that technology? And what if the technology is going down, or it is, becoming a niche? Or what if there is no much demand for the technology? All these doubts have to be kept aside, because cloud is one of such technology which is the futuristic of all the technologies. Even AI and ML are available inside the cloud. You can talk about Azure, you can talk about AWS, or you can talk about, for that matter, the Google Cloud platform. You can take any cloud platform, and AI and ML are already part of it. So if you want to learn all about the buzzword currently, which is the AI ML, it's also good to learn about the cloud technology, because that is all the basis for all of the new technologies that are coming into existence. Cloud is the basis for that. So what do we need to do? We need to just learn the new technology, and I'm here to teach you those technologies. Hi friends, my name is Tejas, and as I told yesterday in my previous video, I'm working as an IT project manager in one of the reputed companies in India, and I am currently handling two projects which are AWS specific projects, and we are migrating the projects from previous legacy systems to new systems. So friends, I am going to teach you all about the AWS, and today we have some small presentation. I know presentations are boring, but to make you all understand, I had to do the presentation. So let's dive into this presentation and try and understand what AWS is. So my name is Tejas, as I said, and welcome to the Basic to Mastery of AWS class. So moving on, what would be the agenda today? I'll just give a brief introduction about me. I know I've already given you the introduction yesterday and today as well, but this is just the presentation that I wanted to share with you all, and I'll give you a brief introduction about me. Now, if you talk about any technologies, right, there are always textbook definitions, and there are definitions that we want it to be very simple to understand. So here, if you see, I'll be defining what is cloud computing, the textbook definition or the Wikipedia definition, if you can say that. And then there will be a very simple, plain English definition that I'll give with regards to something else that we already use in the everyday life. So that will be a simple definition, and you'll understand you'll get a very good understanding of what cloud technology is after we try to correlate it with something else. After that, we'll see why are we specifically focusing on Amazon Web Services or the AWS itself. And then later we'll take a live demo, we'll go through the live demo and then see how to sign up to the AWS Management Console. And then in AWS gives you 1 year of free tier usage, so that you can log into your AWS Management Console, and then you can use those services for free, so that you can play around them, and then you get mastery in that. 1 year is a long time, my friends. So 365 days, even if you spend 1 hour per day, I can guarantee you within 3 to 4 months you'll master the AWS. It's not that difficult, it's just that it is quite a bit lengthy to understand, but it's of course not difficult. So as I said, a quick introduction about me. I'm currently working as an IT project manager, as I said, in one of the reputed leading IT companies in India. And I've been working in the cloud technology, specifically the AWS technology, for more than 5 years. So friends, I am bringing these episodes so that I can help you also elevate your career and, as I said, your pay grade. So many people get confused with the terminology cloud itself. Why was this cloud used, and what does the cloud computing mean? Well, if you see, this is one of the textbook kind of definitions, and this is the Wikipedia specific definition, if I can say. I'll just read it out for you. Cloud computing is using the internet to access and manage computer resources without the need to own or store them on your personal devices. Now friends, if you see my yesterday's video where I have specifically explained why the cloud technology has been gaining momentum recently, and this is one of the specific reasons why the cloud technology has been gaining momentum. It's because you don't have to store them on your personal devices, or you don't even have to maintain them. Everything will be taken care by companies such as Amazon, such as Microsoft or Google, who are already very perfect in maintaining these servers, and they have years and years of experience in doing so. We as newbies, or the company that is specifically only focused on developing softwares or developing products and services, and doesn't have to we don't need to care about the hardware, the physical hardware part of it. We just give it to the other company, which is we are leasing it from them, and then they have to take care of everything. So for example, the AWS, the Amazon Web Services, or the GCP, the Google Cloud Platform, are few of the examples, as well as the Azure, a few of the examples where the cloud technology is being leveraged by different companies, and then they have their products and services and softwares, etc., deployed, or the websites, web pages, etc., deployed on these cloud computing platforms, and then users can use them. Now, what are the advantages? Few of the advantages that I can list is that one of the main advantages is it is pay as you go model. You don't have to specifically, of course there are dedicated instances where you have to purchase it beforehand, but otherwise you don't have to specifically pay in advance to use these services. You just pay as you use them, and after you have used those services. So it is similar to what we take Ola and Uber, right? So once we take the Uber, we don't own the car, we don't own the driver, we don't pay the driver, we are just paying the company Uber for picking us up from one location and dropping us to the other location. AWS or Azure or GCP are almost similar, my friends. So that is one of the simple definition by which you can understand how the cloud computing works. It is just leasing their hardware to get our work done, and then we will hand it over back to them. Now, if you see the definition again, the second part of it, it says instead of having everything on your own computer, you can use the services to store the data on internet. So we use the internet, we leverage the internet to connect those to those instances, and then deploy our data, and then get all our data that is, we can retrieve the data that is stored, we can deploy our applications, our products, or any other stuff that we have developed onto these physical hardwares, physical servers, and then we can let the users use these services. This makes it flexible. I'm just reading the next part of it. This makes it flexible, cost effective, and easy to use. Now, how does it make flexible? You don't have to worry about the infrastructure part. How does it make cost effective? As I told you, that it is pay as you go model. It is very cost effective. You don't have to invest thousands and thousands of dollars just to create the on-premises environment. You don't have to do that. It is just that you lease those dedicated instances for your use, and then when it's done, you just return them back. In simple terms, cloud computing is a smart way to do computer stuff online without the fuss of having it all on your own machine. So that's the beauty of cloud computing. Now, as I said, let's make it a bit simple. Now here I've already explained you about the cab aggregator, the Uber. Similarly, if you want to rent a house for say few months to few years, and then you're staying there, but you're not owning them. You don't want to own a home, you just want to rent it. So it is similar to that. So I've given two examples here. For example, like cab renting services as well as house renting services. So these are both the examples that very well resonate with the cloud computing. Cloud computing technology is similar, however, in context of providing, managing, and maintaining the various computing resources and services over the internet. So when you want to connect to them, you use internet, and that's why they are called web services. Specifically, the Amazon is called web services. Now, why everybody is talking about different cloud platforms, why we are specifically targeting only the AWS. Because this cloud technology was actually started, implementation and providing the physical hardware was started by the AWS itself, and currently their profit margin is in billions, and as I said, more than 90% of the Fortune 100 companies and majority of the Fortune 500 companies are AWS partner solutions and their services. Okay, as I said, AWS is easy to use. It is just few configurations and then your instances are launched, whereas you see the time also is being consumed a lot if you have to physically set up your data center, whereas here it's just few button clicks and then your instance is ready within a matter of few minutes. Compare it with few months to few minutes. There's a lot of saving that is happening. As well as whenever you want, it can spin up a new instance automatically. We'll come to that part on how to do that. But there are services which automatically spin up new instances and then have it ready for you before you anticipate the load on your existing infrastructure. That's the beauty of cloud computing. And as I said, cost effectiveness, you only pay as much as you use. If you're not using, you're not paying. Now let's go to AWS Management Console. All right, when you go back to this AWS, this is the AWS Management Console sign up page. Now, whenever you want to use the AWS Management Console, you first have to sign up. As I said, you need the credit card or debit card details, and then once you are set up, you will be given free access for 1 year for limited services. Not all of the services are free. There are few certain services that are free, but mostly the most used services, they have made sure that you can use them, you can understand them, and they have given it for free. For example, EC2. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. It is an instance that you can launch depending on what operating system that you want. You can take the required operating system in those EC2 instances, and then you can launch those instances. That is one of the examples of computing. Now, if you want storage, there is something called as an S3, which is a simple storage service where you can store petabytes of data too, and then whenever you want, you can retire them at very minimal cost. One of the very interesting things about S3 is that it gives 11 nines durabilities, which means it is next highly impossible to lose any of the objects that is being stored on S3. That is the example for S3, which is one of the services within AWS. Now, if you talk about, for example, databases, there is DynamoDB, there is Redshift, there are different kind of RDS, there are different kind of databases that you can leverage and use them within the AWS as a service, and then you can combine them to make a beautiful architecture. Okay, so this is one of the AWS Management Console's sign up page, and once you go through all of the sign up pages, it is pretty easy for you to do it. Once you do it, then you will end up in one of the AWS Management Console. After you're logged in, you will end up in such page. And if you see here, there are different services that I have recently used. For example, I have used this S3 recently to store for few of my files. And then if you click on any of them, it will provide you all of the services that is listed under these main services. For example, if you want to go to compute, now we have talked about EC2 recently, which is the Elastic Compute Cloud, which is the virtual servers in the cloud. Again, when I talk about the cloud, it means there is somewhere in the world they have physical infrastructure laid out, huge infrastructure laid out, and then you are using those services, those physical infrastructures over the internet using the web services, right? That's the reason why it is called virtual server in the cloud. Now, this is the EC2 that I was talking about. And when you talk about the database, we also talked about the databases like DynamoDB and RDS. There are different databases that you can use. Then you can also go for storage. Let's go to storage. Now we talked about S3, right? So simple storage service is a scalable storage in the cloud wherein you can store your objects. So this is the management console. Right now it is, you can also change the locations. Right now it is showing Sydney for me, and if I want the Mumbai location, I can just switch the location, and whatever services are available for the Mumbai location, I can get those services. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so that was the AWS Management Console live demo. I hope you liked the demo, and then from tomorrow onwards we will start exploring one by one different services, and after we have completed the services, we will see how we can beautifully architect them. You know guys, because I am a AWS architect as well, and we will look at all of the beautiful architectures that we can create, but first we'll try to learn all of these services which are already available within the AWS. And the way we will do it is, we will start with one of these services. For example, like I already have explained yesterday, I'll still go ahead and explain it once again. We will start with S3, for example, and then we'll see how we can do it in the AWS Management Console, how we can create an S3 bucket, how we can create an S3 bucket using one of the IAC tools, infrastructure as a cloud, which is Terraform, and then we'll also see how we can do it using the CloudFormation as well as using the AWS CLI, using the AWS CDK, which is the Cloud Development Kit. Alright guys, that was all I wanted to talk to you, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do consider subscribing to the channel, because I'm giving all of this knowledge for free, and slowly, if you need something else, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll be definitely happy to provide you all the details. This is Tejas signing off, and have a great day.